these conditions, these sensations that are uncomfortable, it does not need to be your new normal. If there's nothing else that you take from today, get on the floor. It's awesome that we're succeeding, and that's great. But if that's all there is, then often we get to a point where we're like, damn, who am I? Where'd I go?
Thrilled to welcome our guest today, Julie Blamphin. Yay! When I think of Julie, I was telling you this just a minute ago, I think of playfulness and joy and fun. And so I'm super excited to see where this conversation leads us today. We also just found out we're Steelers fans together.
Let's go.
Here we go, Steelers. So Julie and I actually are co-authors in a new book that just launched. We Lead Volume 3. It's building connection, community, and collaboration for women in business. So you have to check out Julie's chapter. Which chapter is yours?
Chapter 16.
Chapter 16. Yep. All right. Woo woo. And Julie and I are part of just an incredible group of women entrepreneurs locally. That's how I got to know you. And again, when I think of you, I think of joy and bubbly joy. And so, as we kick off this, so welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And as we kick off the conversation, I'd love to talk a little bit about that playfulness, because so often we think we take our businesses very seriously, and business can be serious, but it can also be fun. And so how do you kind of see this intersection of play and business and weaving that in?
That's a great question. And first of all, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm honored. I believe that we all have play in us. We've all been children, and we all had a bit of fun when we were young. And then we're adults, and don't get me wrong, we're badass business women. Yes. We're getting shit done, and we're doing all the things, and we're kicking it. But if we're not going to tickle that inner spark, that light, that joy, that playfulness, then what happens, at least in my experience, in my work, meeting with so many women along the way in my career, we disconnect. We disconnect from that energy of joy, that energy of lightness and frivolity, if you will, that glee and pause, where we can sort of let it all go, let our hair down, if you will, and settle into some giggles, maybe just settle into a moment of fun, just for the sheer sense of it and the feeling of it, because we're so focused and serious and driven. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome that we're succeeding, and that's great. But if that's all there is, then often we get to a point where we're like, damn, who am I? Where'd I go? And we're just feeling isolated, lonely, disconnected. And that's not a really great way to feel.
Yeah. And I love that, the creativity, because I think that for teams especially, and as we're building team, it's important to incorporate like that creative juices come when you can infuse more fun into it's if we're going to work, you might as well have fun doing it. And you've got so much that you in your work, you've got retreats that you're doing, you have one-on-one clients that you work with, a lot of coursework, and a lot of it centers around this integration of mind, body, and spirit, and really the integration of those. And for many of our listeners, they've heard me say on the show so many times, how to tune in, how to listen, because you have the answers within. You have to learn to tune in to listen. But for many people, they're like, well, what does that even mean?
Right.
How do I tune in?
Right.
How do I listen to my body? Yeah. And, how have you seen that play out for clients that maybe you start coaching with, that say to you, I don't know what that means. How am I listening to my body? What do I do?
It's interesting you say that. A few years ago, I asked all my private clients, and yes, I work private practice, one-on-one. I've been doing it since 2009. I asked a number of my private clients, why do you stay? I've got some who have been with me since 2009. Why do you stay? Why do you continue to practice with me? And a few of them said, I hear your voice during my days. I hear those phrases that you use in your teaching. Those have become mantra in my world, in my real life, if you will. And one of my clients actually said, I know now how to listen to my body. You've taught me how to listen to my body. And that was priceless. For me to hear that, that was just priceless. To know that I have in some way instilled in them that deep awareness, that deep knowledge that their body is always whispering. But I love to say, come on, let's cultivate that tune in so we can listen to those whispers. Because if we don't, the body certainly will scream. And so cultivating that awareness, and it takes forever. It's a lifetime practice. I still am getting to points now and then where I'm like, Julie, and no judgment, but I'll say, Julie, you know better. I'm super flexible. I was raised a gymnast, and I go into poses. I'll go into yoga poses super far, super deep, so pretzel, so bendy, however you want to finish that sentence. And then later my hip or my back or my shoulder will be, what are you doing? Why? Right? And I'm 58. And so you get to that point where you're like, I should know better. Judgment, maybe shame. But then you come back to, hey, this is a practice. I'm listening to my body. And the fact that it's now bitching means that, okay, next time I'm in that moment, next time I'm in that place, next time I'm in that opportunity to go there, just because I can doesn't mean I should. And that's part of the listening. That's part of the tuning in. The body will continue to whisper. The body will continue to offer us that communication, if you will, right? The body will continue to present maybe challenges, maybe sensation, maybe pain. Maybe you can just leave it at sensation, but maybe pain, maybe discomfort, maybe it's moving right into some sort of a condition or an injury. And often, simply because we're badass people in business, we just ignore it. We're like, yeah, I've been dealing with this for years. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard this. Oh yeah, this is normal. I've been dealing with this for years. I'm good. It's not that big of a deal. I'm like, all right. First of all, it might not be now, but chances are great it will be. And the fact that you're just sucking it up and you're giving all of your attention over here, whatever that might be. And trust me, compassion is wonderful. Wonderful, especially for the women listening. Compassion is a wonderful thing. You're taking care of everyone and everything. But what about you, sister?
Yeah.
Right? These conditions, these sensations that are uncomfortable, it does not need to be your new normal.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. That is a message from your body to really look at something, tune in, and figure out what you can do differently, what kind of adjustment you can make along the way to just feel better more often. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when you do feel better, obviously you do better, right? You have better work. You can be more impactful. For many of us that got into business to make a difference, your work will carry more weight when you're feeling good, So I'm curious for you, because most of the time we're led to work because we struggled with something in the past. And so now, because, the breakdown leads to the breakthrough, and then we are able to give back from a place that we understand. So in terms of your own journey, how did you come to this work, or what did that look like?
I love this question. Okay. So I'm 4 years old in Western New York. My parents bought this big property and it was a working farm. And my mother's college degree was in physical education. So a woman up the street asked my mother to teach her daughter how to do a cartwheel. She was in cheerleading. And soon thereafter, there were a number of girls, teens, coming to our home, running from the dining room into the living room, doing their cartwheels. And then it was doing their handsprings. Then it was doing their backflips and et cetera. So long story short, I was raised in a school of gymnastics. I started coaching literally when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
We had, my mother had a full-blown professional school of gymnastics for 20 years and very successful and very busy. It was a very physical job for her. She loved it. She still says that. She's 86 this year. And she still says, I loved my work. It was very physical. It was very exciting. Fast forward. Then she's diagnosed with a pelvic floor condition. And so at that point, that was probably about 20 years ago. Maybe, no, it was at least 25 years ago. And here I am, the yogi, because like I said, I started teaching when I was about 12 and I was working with little kids with disabilities. The Special Olympics team would come to our gym to work on their routines.
Oh, very cool.
And so my first students were the ones who weren't on the bars and the beam. They were the kids with paralysis who were sitting on the floor with me, working on flexibility and balance and strength and sensation. Yoga, right? It wasn't gymnastics per se. It was yoga. It was stretching. So I love to say I've been teaching yoga since I was 12. That being said, I got into pelvic floor wellness because of my mother. And because in my yoga teachings, I was recognizing that, sure, let's work on your tone. That's fine. Yoga's great. We can do all the strong stuff. But going inward and solidifying your foundation, right? I mean, you're a realtor. You know the importance of building a strong home and having that deep, stable foundation. It's the same thing with our body. Mm-hmm. And so recognizing the importance of core and pelvic floor stability and knowing that my mom was struggling back in the day, and it makes sense. I mean, your core is where you move from. And she was a gymnastics coach lifting balance beams and crash pads and people for 20 years. It makes sense that her core was jeopardized, right? So her pelvic floor was diagnosed with a condition called prolapse, which is where the muscles and tissues of the pelvic floor are jeopardized to the point of internal organs starting to descend.
Wow.
Right? So our pelvic floor, first of all, we're sitting on it. And it is the space right at the base of the pelvis, a whole bunch of muscles, a whole bunch of tissues that is keeping our internal organs within our body, which is very important. It aids us in the bathroom. It aids us in the bedroom. And it's helping us to stay upright. It's our stability system. And again, just like a house, we have to have a stable foundation. I mean, you can't build the house starting with the second floor.
Right. Yeah.
So my mother was one of the driving forces for my continuing education in my yoga career to look into the importance of core and pelvic floor stability. So I'm certified in pelvic floor yoga, and I've been rocking that world for 10 years now. And thankfully, mom she's still doing her yoga. She's still doing her routine a couple times a day. And she's great. She's doing great. She's never had surgery. She still has all her internal organs. So it can work. Right. It can work to help stabilize your deep foundational structure.
So basically through a series of exercises then that you help people with, it strengthens that so that they don't have to have surgery or they don't have to go to these more extreme measures. Yeah.
That's
right.
one of the reasons I do what I do.
Wow.
Another reason is just to help people tune in.
Right.
And again, mostly women, but a lot of men as well. I mean, we all have pelvic floors, children, men, women. And we get to a point where we disconnect from the body. And this energy of the pelvic floor, this is our grounding energy. It's the energy that helps keep us connected with the earth. I mean, it's below us.
Yeah.
And so it's our root, it's our tether, if you will. And it helps to keep us connected with ourselves and with our purpose and with our element of calm and stability and connectedness.
Yeah.
And let me rephrase, many of us get to a point where we're so busy, we don't have time to connect with our own needs, let alone go deep and close the eyes and maybe even be still and meditate on our root energy. Who does that? Well, a lot of people do that, and it helps to keep them stable and connected. And from that place, we can move through life with a really great balance. Work life, mind, body, spirit, play, and career. So all of these ways in which we feel out of balance. I mean, we're all out of balance in some way every day, but it's a practice.
Yeah.
And connecting with that root energy, the energy of the pelvic floor space, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, however you connect with that space, it keeps you right here, right now. And that's a really great place to be.
And so do you find that you see more women with pelvic floor issues? Does it affect men too?
It does.
Interesting. Because when I think pelvic floor and, I think of women as we age, as we've had children,
right?
That it affects more women. But I guess, it would only make sense that for men too.
Yeah. And I'm seeing it a lot with children. I don't work with children, but I hear from women who are saying, for example, my child is in competitive lacrosse. She's 8 and she's already leaking.
Wow.
Right. So again, the space, or boys or men. I mean, think about the pelvic floor and these muscles and tissues that are at the base of the torso. What are they doing? When it comes to men, they're helping with erection. When it comes to women and men, those muscles help with orgasm. Those are important muscles to focus on. We want to keep current. We want to keep current with some of this, some of this activity. And again, so many people get to a point where they're like, yep, just doesn't work like it used to. Well, okay, that's aging. And it's a beautiful thing because aging is a beautiful thing. I mean, we're alive. Let's freaking celebrate it already.
Right.
But we get to a point where things are not working the way they used to. Number one, it's totally common. Number two, it doesn't have to be normal.
Yeah.
We've got to keep practicing. We've got to keep practicing. Yeah.
Well, and I think to your point, often we just think, well, it's just part of aging. This is just what happens. But what is normal doesn't have to be. Like you can, change the way you age, right?
Absolutely.
So, and have a more active role. And, it's just the other day talking to my kids about self-talk. And, so my daughter has been having some ear issues. And she was going, I hate my ears. I hate them. And I said, no. We're not going to say that because the way you speak about your body, the way you speak, words matter.
Words matter.
And we're going to just say that right now your ears are hurting, but they're on their way to getting better. That we're grateful that you can hear, that we're, because it's how you speak about, you speak living truth into things, into being. And so we have the power to reverse some of that.
Absolutely. Change the narrative, shift the mindset for sure. I think that's hopefully one of the takeaways from our talk today for your listeners and watchers. I hope that you understand that even if Even if you've heard from your friend, from your doctor, oh yeah, oh, you're leaking, oh, you've had babies, that's normal. Oh, you're feeling pain during sex, oh, you can't have an erection, oh, you, whatever, you feel imbalanced, you feel isolated, that's normal. Like, no, I beg to differ. And I would love for you to know that first of all, there's hope. Second of all, just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, there are some who are struggling with symptoms so severe that yes, they might need surgery. Yes, they might need intervention. At the very least, pelvic floor yoga can help. I'll share something with you. You can drop in the show notes.
Sure.
But remember that, okay, great. You've had babies. Awesome. Doesn't mean you need to leak forever. Okay, maybe you were raised a gymnast. Hello. And you were tight as a drum for, well, still. And or maybe you struggle with perfectionism. And or maybe you struggle with anxiety. I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
And or maybe you struggle with hearing loss. So I have all of these. And for me, my pelvic floor is super tight. And that's called hypertonic. I have high tone. Some women and men have low tone, but some have high tone. And so those bodies who have high tone think about my body. What would my body be doing if I was raised a gymnast, if I struggle with perfectionism, if I have hearing loss and I'm always leaning, if I'm anxious because of it, I'm clenching, I'm tight, right? Of course it was hurting when I was having penetrative sex. I'm clenching and I'm tight. So it's a practice, but it is very difficult. So shifting that mindset, I'm safe. I'm grounded. I'm connecting with that root energy. I'm right here, right now. I am safe. I'm connected. Just all of these mantra that we can bring into our moments resonate. They're not just words we're saying and they're floating away. They're being heard, hopefully, by the body. It's all connected. That's the definition of yoga. Mind-body connection. Mind-body spirit. I mean, there is one thing we all have in common. We all have a body. Right?
Right.
And so that mind-body connection, which is the true definition of yoga, we've always got that opportunity to cultivate that mind-body connection. But typically it's like, ugh, my back hurts. Damn. Oh, well. Right. Gotta suck it up. Dealing with this for years. It's my new normal. Or I don't laugh anymore because I leak. I've heard that.
Wow.
I know. Broke my heart.
Wow.
And just that alone is a reason to continue coming on shows like yours and offering hope.
Yeah.
To say, there are some little tweaks you can make in your life that can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal.
Yeah. Well, and I think the common thing for a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners as well is I'm just too busy.
Right.
I'm just too busy. I have too many things going on. And, I think that often happens, at this time of year, we start to evaluate our wheel of business. And part of that is, of course, or our wheel of life, really, what are the things we want to bring more into, give life to, and what do we want to leave behind as we come to another year. And part of that is the business side. And then part of it is the spiritual side and the family side and the personal side. And again, as we look at these, you can't be a strong leader, I believe, if you're not fully whole and fully grounded in your own beingness.
100%.
If you're in pain half of the day, that's going to manifest in some way in how you show up as a leader. So, for anybody out there thinking, well, I just am too busy. I don't have, what would you say? What are the ways that they can seek out somebody like you for help? What does that time commitment look like? What are the options available to them?
Yeah. This is a tricky one because one thing that everyone is concerned about is time. but that's all we got. That's all we got.
Mm-hmm.
All we have is time. So look at your time. Look at where you are, how you're there, and how long you're there. I challenge you. Look at where you are. Look at how you are there and how long you're there. What do you spend most of your day doing? The majority of us would say sitting. It's true. We live in a sitting culture. We sit when we're in the car. We sit when we're having breakfast. We sit when we're on our laptop, typically, right? We sit when we're on the toilet. We sit when we're watching Netflix. But how are you there? And how long are you there? My right leg is crossed over my left right now. Well, I practice this stuff like for a living, actually. And I help other people develop their awareness of it. And I switch constantly because I'm always practicing balance. Again, I have hearing loss and I am not balanced anymore. And I used to be a gymnast. So that's a really difficult sentence for me to say. My balance sucks now because I was the balance beam kid, y'all. Not anymore. So I'm constantly looking at my balance. And if that means just switching that left leg over right as much as my right leg is over left, if that means I need to walk away from that laptop, maybe take it with me over to the kitchen counter if I'm working at home. Mm-hmm. Maybe stand up, hold it in one hand and just type with the right. Maybe it means walk the frick away. Right? Close the laptop and go lie on the floor. Mm-hmm. Sure, standing up is great, but you're still upright. Gravity is real. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
Yeah.
Gravity is real. And that constant push down takes its toll on the spine, on the entire musculoskeletal system, on the pelvic floor, for sure. The pelvic floor is like, get off me, please. And then we stand up. And gravity's real. Even though we're not sitting on that pelvic floor, gravity's still pulling into it, pushing into it. So getting on the floor. If there's nothing else that you take from today, get on the floor. Get on the floor. Lie on your back, lie on your side, lie on your front. Once a day at least for 5 minutes. I do it all the time. And it's what saves me. It saves my body. It saves all my yogis. And don't tell me you don't have any time. Because again, that's all you've got. Mm-hmm. And there are things that you can be doing in a different position. And yoga, it's just you connecting with you. Sure, you can come and see me. You can put that hour in your schedule. You can Zoom and meet with me. I've got clients all around the country. I've got clients who come to my space in West Annapolis here in Maryland. You can come, you can pay me and you can come into my studio. We can practice yoga on Zoom, or you can join my membership and have my video library and cue it up and move through the poses. You can also just see where you are and what are you doing? What else are you doing when you're brushing your teeth? What else are you doing when you take a phone call? Do you really need to take a phone call sitting on your dupa? In your seat? No, you don't. You don't need to take a phone call sitting. Where else can you type on your laptop? Take it with you down on the floor. A laptop can go on the floor. So it's just a whole different way of looking at where you are, how you're there, and how long you're there. Because the body is keeping the score. I love that phrase, but I can't take credit for that. Isn't that great?
That is good.
But the body is listening to your words, to your actions, to your positions. Mm-hmm. And again, it's going to whisper, and you better listen because you don't want to hear it scream, and it will.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting when you think about all the ways that we spend our time. And like sometimes I'll say, oh, I don't have enough time, or I try to make time every morning. I do make time actually every morning to meditate. But sometimes I'll catch myself scrolling a feed or what have you, right? And it's like your mind, and you get lost in that time. When if you could just like put the phone down and for 5 minutes, like lay down you'd be saving yourself a lot of time. And you can actually scroll while on the,
yeah, for sure.
You could use that as your scroll time.
Absolutely. And I know this isn't the topic of our show, but scrolling, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
It's like any other addiction. Yeah. All of the devices we're using, it is an addiction. And setting that thing down, putting it aside is anxiety provoking. But it's so good for us, body, mind, spirit, for sure. We have these conversations on retreat, and there are so many women who come on retreat with me, and when they are considering it, they're like, yeah, I don't have any time. I just don't have time. I can't imagine organizing my kids' schedules and the dog, and I typically go away with my partner, and I've never vacationed with myself, and I just don't have it. All right. First of all, bullshit. You do have time. It takes priorities. It takes looking at it and making adjustments. Mm-hmm. Just make adjustments. And then you get there and you're like, oh, wow. This is plain old magic. Yeah. Because all it is me. Once you shed your identity, air quotes again, because there are so many things that we lock into and attach to, but that's just the mind stuff. In yoga, we call it chitta vritti. The mind stuff, or the monkey mind, is connected with the ego. Mm-hmm. And the ego and that mind stuff tells us, oh, that is so important. You've got to latch onto that. Do not let that go. Do not back away from this, and this, and all the busyness that ensues. And frankly, the anxiety and the clenching that might also ensue because of all that busyness and because of all that mind stuff. God forbid we let go. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, it's also, what are you saying? Not just what are you saying yes to, what are you saying no to? There's always choices and it's important to, again, coming back to how do you stay grounded as a leader? You can't give from an empty cup, you know? And so how are you, what are the practices that you're coming back to so that you can learn how to show up better for your team, so that you can listen to what your body's telling you, to the creative messages that are all around us, and how we can lean into our next, most expanded version. And that's not going to come from scrolling on a phone, that's going to come from having time to tune in.
Taking time.
Yeah,
absolutely. Taking time and realizing that, we can habit stack. Mm-hmm. We can do some of these things. And when I say some of these things, I mean mind, body, spirit. Mm-hmm. I mean, whether it's a 14-second breath work, or maybe it's one yoga pose. And trust me, just a minute of movement can change your entire day. I mean, this stuff is super simple. But that being said, it doesn't mean it's easy. Mm-hmm. It takes practice. It takes priorities. It takes looking at self and going, okay, I am aging. Even if we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, you will get to a point where you will be like, damn, wish I would have started this sooner. Mm-hmm. And I don't want you to get there. I want you to realize that it doesn't take any extra time. Mm-hmm. This is the cool part about what I do. It's like, this doesn't take any extra time. I'm just giving you little tidbits of things that you can remember as you're living your life. And again, I'd love for you to come on retreat. It's a week. It's a big investment. Mm-hmm. And it's a marvelous, magical week. Just for you. Just for you. You can come and do whatever you wish. I've had women who come, they don't show up to yoga one day. I don't care. Everything's optional. This is all about you. You read a book, you nap, you go and wander on the beach the entire time. You are there focusing on you. It's as much involvement or as little involvement as you wish. Mm-hmm. Same thing with yoga practice. You can roll out a yoga mat, get on the Lululemon yoga pants or the Smith & Quinn, or you can just push away from the desk and wiggle around. Mm-hmm. That's how I do it. I mean, trust me, I go to yoga a lot. I go to classes a lot because I really need it. I've been a yogi since I was 4. Mm-hmm. So I need to stay deeply connected with my body. It's number one on my self-care list. But I can definitely give you some tips that you can bring into your life, especially those of you who are super busy. Yeah. I'm busy too.
Kind of last question. So what are the ways that you tune in every day? I mean, what does that practice? Do you have a specific practice for it? Or is it woven throughout the whole day? What does that look like?
It's woven throughout the whole day. And there are practices that are absolutely non-negotiable. And they're part of my rituals. I mean, you've got a ritual to brush your teeth, at least I hope you do, right? So why aren't these things just as important as that? They damn well should be. Mm-hmm. They absolutely should be, because eventually that body's going to be like, bitch, please prioritize me.
Yeah.
And we don't need to get there. So one of the things that I do, okay, let's all do it. If you're sitting, I want you to plant your feet and scoot your bum back in your chair. Turn your palms down on your legs or on the chair. And if you can, just close the eyes and take a nice deep breath. And on the exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out, and smile. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And on the exhale, open the mouth, sigh it out, and smile. And slowly open the eyes and move back into your day. It's as easy as that, people. So that's one of the ways that I connect with myself. It's literally tattooed on my arm. Exhale, sigh, and smile. Why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we do that? And don't get me wrong. I have my fair share of lamentations during my day. Like, damn it, why didn't that go better than I thought it was going to? Or, oh, I forgot to do that thing. Or, oh, my hip is troubling me. I need to do something different, right? Like, I have my moments of that inner bitchy voice. But I also have those moments of, exhale, sigh, and smile. Mm-hmm. That's just one thing that I do during my day. Many, many, many times.
Yeah. I love that though, because it's so simple.
It's so simple.
And how can you not feel a little bit better?
Absolutely. Even if it's a fake smile, it doesn't matter. Right. The body doesn't know any difference. The brain doesn't know any difference. Just smile.
Yeah.
Toxic positivity. Come on. Give me a break.
There's the play too.
Right?
Going back to the beginning.
It's a little damn fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate your time, the conversation, and I hope that our listeners, some of the things that I take away are, number one, it doesn't have to, we sometimes make it harder in our mind than it really has to be. When you hear things like, oh, tune into your body, like, and you tune out because you're like, oh, I don't know.
Whatever that means.
Right. What does that even mean? Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that hard. And I think some of the practical tips that you gave today really are intended to help people just see just that. And I love what you said about, what was it? Watch where you are, how long you're there. What was it again?
Yeah.
Is
look at where you are.
Where you are.
How you are.
Mm-hmm.
And how long you are there.
Yeah. I love that, because really being very intentional for what are those buckets of time? What are you doing with those buckets of time? How are you showing up for yourself? Yeah. Because so many times I think we just go through the day with a lack of awareness, and so just bringing even a little bit more awareness to it is really super powerful.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
What are some ways that people can find you, can learn more about you? And we'll drop it in the show notes as well.
Great. I'm on the web and Instagram and Facebook at Stretch Your Spirit.
Great.
I'm on LinkedIn at Julie Blamphin. And I'm going to give you a freebie that you can offer to your listeners. And even though it might reference women in there, remember, we've all got pelvic floors. And I am here to help you protect your posture so your body can keep up with your ambition.
Love that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Having me.
Thank you for being here.